Bora, Hello, and welcome to Black Box Trading. This is the Friday live stream? No, the Sunday live stream. Jesus. No, this is supposed to be the Sunday live stream. That's why I'm confused. Took a few days off from the weekly close because of Father's Day, but we're here to talk about the market from a weekly perspective, and Bitcoin is making a pretty nice move. We've got a very strong move, very strong breakout of the downward sloping line of resistance that we spoke about in the previous show. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to take a look at altcoins. Why are altcoins kind of lagging this move? Is it because of a lot of the regulatory uncertainty that is happening in the market, so people are preferring to place their bets with the safest option, which is Bitcoin? We'll dive into that as well, and then we'll take a look at some of the traditional financial markets. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. Taking a look at Bitcoin here on the daily chart, we've been watching this consolidation, observing it as a potential distribution. Now, we've been looking at this from a bearish lens, mainly because of the fact that alphanumerics is red. So as long as the wave is red, we want to entertain bearish scenarios. We want to entertain bearish setups and look for potential short setups, or just wait for a consolidation or a correction of price, or some sort of signal that's going to show us that we're bullish again. Now, when we take a look at the market right here, take a look at this breakout. You can see this breakout right here. Let me go ahead and get my pen tool going here. We have broken the downward sloping line of resistance right here. We have a breakout. So definitely a nice move. Now, I will say the market is very illiquid right now. Volume is still very low in the market. When volume is low and the order books are thin, it's very easy to move price up and down. So we're not quite there yet in calling this a confirmed breakout. There is still a possibility that this ends up being a fake out. So what would we be looking for in the context of a fake out? I would love to see us come down and retest this level of the breakout before confirming and moving up past higher levels. Now, if that doesn't happen and we just take off from here, our bullish bias will come into effect as soon as we break 29,900. So 29.9 is kind of the level to beat. That will cause the green wave to appear. It will transition from a red wave to a green wave. Once we have the bullish bias in place, we will be taking bullish positions. So that's what we're looking for right there. I would love to see this come down, but you know, this is a very strong candle. When you get a strong candle and a strong signal in the market, you can get a bullish follow through of that. Now, level to break, I think for this to begin to accelerate would be the previous high right here at around 28,460. So get a break of 28,460, and it's probably going to end up rallying to the point where we're going to flip our bias. But I do want to caution, until we get a level that beats 29.9 and we get that bullish bias flip, I'm still going to remain neutral to bearish on this consolidation as it stands right now. Now, taking a look at Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum first on the dollar pair, and then we're going to take a look at it on the Bitcoin pair. So let's first pull up ETH USD. And we'll take a look at the, you know what, let's go with the Binance chart. ETH USD on Binance. And let's go to the 3-day chart. We're still below this really significant support/resistance flip down here. You can see this kind of ascending triangle formation up against a resistance. This is a positive sign for Ethereum. You know, as long as we keep making higher lows, eventually there's going to be enough upward pressure on Ethereum to break past this resistance and you know, get a signal for a potential rally to take place. You'll also make note here of these dots of the SAR. It's very closely aligned with what we're seeing here on this resistance point. So a break of this resistance will also flip the indicator back to green, indicating a bullish bias. So welcome to the chat, Cali Trader. Nice offline chat that we had just moments ago. Welcome to the show. Yeah, but I also want to take a look at Ethereum from a Bitcoin point of view. So let's take a look at Ethereum BTC here on the Binance chart. And this is still looking like a distribution. We've been kind of charting this as a distribution. Let's go over to the line chart. Let's actually take alphanumerics off for a sec, clean it up just a little bit. We've been watching this consolidation as a distribution. Candle's back on. Let's go to weekly. So you can see the candles. We've been charting this as distribution. We are breaking down of this level right here. We're threatening to take out the lows here at around 6 million Satoshis. If we do break below 6 million Satoshis, I wouldn't be surprised to see us back down to 5 million sats per Ethereum. That's kind of the trend, and this is backed up with what we're seeing with Bitcoin dominance. So ever since the break here of Bitcoin dominance, we broke past this level. It was acting as resistance here, here, and here. Since we have now broken out of this level, this is a pretty confirmed breakout. So if you are heavy on the altcoin side of things, you're probably not seeing the follow through that you were hoping for, or you're probably not seeing the leading performance that you were hoping for. And this is the reason right here. Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. Altcoins are lagging. There's still a lot of fear in the markets in relation to regulatory clarity, and that is translating to a lack of performance in the altcoin space. I've been holding off on altcoins because this chart has been trending up, and I'm going to continue to hold off on altcoins until we can get a correction. And now that we've come up against this resistance and broken out, I honestly do not expect altcoins to perform very well in the coming weeks until we can get back down and show some sort of market structure. Maybe we get something that looks like this. We trend up a little bit, and then we can start to get a downtrend. Until we have a confirmed downtrend, it's not going to be a very good time to be an altcoin trader. So Bitcoin is the play for now. Let's flip back over to Bitcoin. And let's go down to the 4 hour. And yeah, when we turn alphanumerics on, you can see that we do have a red diamond here on the 4 hour. The last red diamond to flash did kind of mark the conclusion of the uptrend up near the 3/4 mark of the channel. Could we be repeating that again? Time will tell. We just got the daily close, so the volatility direction will probably become clear in the coming hours. So, you know, the session in the US is just closed. We'll see if Asia is bullish or bearish on Bitcoin, causing it to come down to lower levels. But yeah, like I said, if we get a breakout, if we get a continued trend past that 29.8, 29.9 level, that's where the bias will flip. Let's switch the focus over just quickly to traditional finance. Let's start off with the S&P 500. Taking a look at that on the weekly, still trending up. Beautiful breakout, beautiful breakout. Now we have not come down and test this support/resistance flip down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do need to confirm those levels before continuation to the upside. But the trend is your friend, and this breakout can continue. We don't have any serious price structure that would indicate that we're ready to fall back just yet. Same sort of structure that we're seeing here on the NASDAQ. Beautiful break. Beautiful break of this support/resistance flip. Really good extension here on the NASDAQ. It seems that people are bullish and they are willing to allocate a little bit of risk when it comes to stocks. So stocks have been certainly outperforming the cryptocurrency market as a whole. And it's pretty clear that, you know, if you've been a stock trader, you've been enjoying a very good bull market as the fundamentals are aligning and the risk on appetite is more correlated with the sentiment with traditional financial assets like stocks. Taking a look at the DXY, this is the dollar index. Let's turn off alphanumerics. This is a descending triangle. So if this does continue, we can come down and visit the lows of this triangle. Now, a fall in the dollar would equate to rallying and risk on assets. So if we do continue to fall here, expect continuation of the NASDAQ, expect continuation of the S&P, and from what we're seeing with Bitcoin, expect continuation with Bitcoin. So I will open things up to the floor there. If you guys have any questions or any tickers that you would like me to take a look at, leave them in the comments and we will go ahead and take a look at them. But I want to just take a quick look at BNB. Let's get a little bit less of a hardcore color going on there. BNB has fallen below the ice of this potential redistribution. I'm quite bearish on BNB. The reason that I'm bearish on BNB is I think that this asset has been manipulated. When we look at the retracement of BNB from the cycle top high to the current potential cycle low, it's a 73% reduction in the price of BNB. This is less than the reduction. This is less than the price fall of Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a 76% retracement. Let's actually just quickly go over and take a look. From Bitcoin's all-time high to its potential low of this cycle, 77% retracement, whereas BNB had a 73% retracement. This screams manipulation to me. In a truly free market where the value of the assets is properly determined, BNB would be at much lower levels. So I think that there is a little bit of funny business going on. Now, Binance is kind of facing some regulatory heat right now. So can they continue, if they were engaging in some funny business, can they continue to prop up the price of BNB? We will have to see how that plays out, but I don't like this structure. I don't like how well this has held up at these levels because I don't think it's a truly appropriate price. And if it did fall, there's really not a lot holding it up. So for those holding BNB, hodling BNB as a long-term investment, you know, I'm not here to spread FUD. I'm not here to make anybody too concerned about their investments, but I will point out that there was no market structure built on the way up here. So if we do lose this critical level, there's really quite a bit of open space potential to the downside for BNB to fall below. So do be aware of that. Another coin that we have been taking a look at is Arbitrum. Arbitrum, we've been following the airdrop. We got some in the airdrop. This is going to be a cycle hold for me, so I'm not too concerned about price. We did lose the dollar level. We got to a low of 90 cents, and we're now currently at just over $1. This could potentially be the new range for Arbitrum. Let's open it up. Potentially the new range, and we could trade sideways here. Now, price cycle point of view. Hey, Alan, how's it going? Price cycle point of view, where are we in terms of time? Where are we in terms of time? Let's actually, what we'll do is we'll take a few measurements from previous cycles as to where I think we are in this cycle. So we have our high, we have our low, and we have our first rally. So let's go to the previous cycle and let's look at that. We have our high, we have our low, and we have our first rally. So let's take a measurement here. Where do they keep that? I always forget where this one is. Yes. Bars pattern. All right, so from the low to basically, let's go to where the bull market really took off. So the break of the previous all-time high. And then we can bring that over to the low here. So break of the previous all-time high, we'd be looking at something like this. Oh, I kind of messed up the time on that one. we would be looking at something like this. So potentially what we're looking at is this first kind of rally out of the bear market, the first confirmation that the low is in, and the first point of confidence to the market to prepare that in the event of a dip, it's a buy the dip scenario. You hear all the time on YouTube, buy the dip, buy the dip. Don't buy every dip. Don't buy every dip. You know, everybody that bought the dip back here, they certainly regret buying the dip. This is why alphanumerics and black box are such valuable tools, because they tell you when to buy the dip and they tell you when to not buy the dip. You don't buy the dip in the red, no dip buy, no dip buy. And then it finally told you to do a dip buy here at 17.2. Even though the wave was red, it did give you an override signal. And we haven't been buying the dip. Now, when the wave is green, when there's a dip, you buy the dip. It's you're in a bullish scenario. You're always going to have a lot of volatility in this market, and volatility is going to shake out those weak hands. So you do need some sort of market signal. You do need to have a high time frame metric that you're looking at that can apply an appropriate bias. Bias is very important. When the wave is green, you have a bullish bias. You look for bullish stuff. You look for bullish retracements. You look for bullish consolidations, and you take things to the long side. When it's red, you're bearish. You have a bearish bias. So having that guiding light, that north star of direction for your analysis is really, really important. It doesn't have to be alphanumerics, but you should have a high time frame indicator that you're looking at for bias. And yeah, so, you know, where do I expect to break a new all-time high? It's going to be near the end of next year. You know, from a time-based perspective, you know, the 4-year cycle hasn't really changed. The fundamentals of the halving do have an effect on the supply still. I do think that later on in the future, the halving is going to have such a little effect on the newly minted supply that it's not going to be an issue. But I think that this is still a very important halving. Probably the last important halving where you're really going to have a noticeable reduction on supply, where you can have you can trade based off of the halving. So the 4-year cycle is still kind of in play, in my opinion, and it's not. I don't expect a break of an all-time high until 2024, more likely 2025. Maybe an all-time high break by 2024, but the bull market, the real exciting, you know, shooting fish in a barrel part of the market, is likely going to be in 2025. So you're certainly poised for some positive movements down in these levels. I think if you are a value investor and you're looking at Bitcoin as a long-term investment, you know, not financial advice, but we're in a very good zone. We can actually back that up with taking a look at Glassnode. Take a look at some of the bottom and top indicators. Bitcoin pricing and cycles. Where is it? Oh, they changed everything on here. There we go. Yeah, so this is the Bitcoin investor tool on Glassnode. Basically, if you are close to or above the red line, it's a time to be selling. It's a time to be, you know, offloading some of those UTXOs. And every single time you are below the green line, it is a fabulous time to be buying Bitcoin. Now, look at this cycle back here in 2015. A ton of volatility in the price. The price is indicated by black. Ton of volatility in the price. This is going up and down several hundreds of percent, down, you know, 50+% corrections. But I mean, you were laughing if you were in the accumulation zone here. So below the green, you're in a great spot. Again, back here, below the green, you're in a great spot. Below the green, great spot. And we're still below the green. So, you know, let's not overcomplicate the long-term investment thesis here. And I think we can say with a fair degree of confidence that this is a good time to be buying Bitcoin, and yeah, act accordingly. Now, We will take a moment just to talk about Blackbox. Blackbox is the free Bitcoin trading bot that we are offering. If you guys are looking for a nice solution to accumulate more Bitcoin, try Blackbox. We currently offer this on BitGet Exchange. It is free to use with our partner exchanges. So go to blackbox.pro, blkbox.pro, sign up for free, register with an email and a password. Boom. The bot will be ready. I should make this more clear that this is pre-release. We are going to be making the bot live on July 10th, but you can get set up. You can get the API all set up and get the exchange set up and ready to go for when we roll it out. It'll be live and it'll be a good way for you to hodl some Bitcoin and outperform the market. Now, past performance does not indicate future results, but we have outperformed Bitcoin by about 1,900% over the prior 4 years. We anticipate to do something similar over the next 4 years, but market depending. All right. What's another one? Let's take a look at some of the top alts just for fun. Even though I don't recommend alts right now, let's just see how they're doing from a USD point of view. We took a look at Ethereum already. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin's halving is coming up in about 40 days, month and a half, something like that. Let's turn off alphanumerics. If you guys have any other specific assets you would like me to take a look at, leave them in the chat. We're still below, very critical resistance here at $100. Not only has it been kind of an area of resistance for us, you can see it was resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. It's a really important level technically, but also psychologically as well. Getting a break above $100, that's a new unit bias. Once you get into 3 figures, any 3-figure will be an acceptable price until you get to 4 figures. I'm not anticipating this. I'm not saying that this will get to $1,000. I'm just saying that there's really not a lot holding it back if it does reclaim that $100 level and continue up. As it stands right now, we are currently below. And as we are below, we assume lower levels are likely, particularly because of the fact that Bitcoin dominance is still on the rise. When Bitcoin dominance is on the rise, you do not want to be in altcoins. And just as a historical point, you typically don't see a very exciting amount of altcoin performance until you break a prior all-time high in Bitcoin. So going back to our schedule of where we think that'll be in Bitcoin, we think probably a new all-time high break in 2024. I do not anticipate a ton of altcoin performance until 2024 when that all-time high is broken. So yeah. Now, I will also say, for those who this may be your first cycle, something I've noticed in prior cycles and something I'm noticing again this cycle is every cycle has new coins, man. Don't deploy too much capital. Have a cash position for new projects, for new venture capital opportunities, and realize that the projects that were amazing last cycle, they may not be that relevant in the coming cycle. We're already seeing a ton of fundamentally bullish things coming from the Bitcoin network. If you have been living under a rock and you don't understand what is going on with ordinals, you don't understand the NFT infrastructure that's being built on the Bitcoin network and the DeFi infrastructure that is being built on the Bitcoin network, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you start to tuck into that and become aware of what is going on in the ordinal space, because potentially we could be seeing a repeat of everything we saw in the prior cycle, but now new coins on Bitcoin doing the same thing. So you're going to want to pay attention. What's going to be the Uniswap? What's going to be the Sushi Swap? What's going to be the Aave? What's going to be the Compound? What are all these tokens going to be in their Bitcoin form as the ordinal space begins to continue to develop? All right, we got a request here for Solana. Solana USD. Yeah, not surprisingly, a serious lack of performance here on Solana. This is due in part to the fact that we don't know if this is a security or not. and Bitcoin dominance is rising. There's a lot more of an appetite for Bitcoin than there is on Solana. Now, we are showing a little bit of an cumulative structure, so let's kind of put some lines around this. Keep it simple, people. Keep it simple. You know, here's a pretty well-established downtrend. You can see that we've been unable to get above this level until we can break this line. We're not going to break this line. Now, we are tightening in price. There is a possibility that we are getting to the end of this consolidation, in which case we will pop above. If we can pop above, hey, that is your signal that some life is coming into Solana. But to be quite frank, I think that a lot of alternative layer ones are going to be created, specifically new layer ones. I think new layer ones are going to be created. Every cycle, there's new layer ones, all in the context of layer 2 on Ethereum getting a lot more powerful and a lot more important. So although I like Solana and I know that Solana got a lot of hype, I don't think that it is going to do the same thing that it did in prior cycles. And if we take a look at Solana BTC, I do not anticipate the high of Solana ever being reached again. So the high of Solana was about 460,000 sats. I don't anticipate that we see 460,000 sats ever reached again. So in Bitcoin terms, I think the all-time high is on Solana. In USD terms, that can be discussed. We could potentially break the all-time high in USD, but USD is an asset that keeps falling in value. So you want to make sure that it outperforms the assets that don't fall in value, like Bitcoin. All right. Hello from Greece, Chris Giorgio. Welcome to the stream. Can we take a look at Cardano and Render, please? Sure. Let's take a look at ADA USD. Same sort of picture here. You know, you've got this lower accumulation range here on Cardano. We just got to keep it simple. What's holding us down? Just a simple line of resistance. All we got to do is identify that line. And as long as we're below this line, we can assume that it's not going to get above that line. As soon as it gets above that line, well, now we can assume that it can continue up to higher levels. A lot of horizontal resistance back here. This is when it really accelerated for Cardano. You can see back here, this was kind of the bull market breakout for Cardano. So we can grab that resistance line and pull it across. We are below that line. So as far as Cardano is concerned, Cardano is not looking very strong as an asset. It's looking very weak on the dollar compared to other assets, other crypto assets on the dollar. It is quite weak. Now, if you are a dollar cost average individual who's looking to buy Cardano, I mean, you don't get much closer to the lows than that. It could be a buying opportunity. I typically, me personally, I like to buy strength. I like to buy assets that that are outperforming market leaders. I always position with market leaders. As it stands right now, Cardano is not a market leader, so do proceed with caution with any of the trades that are investments that you take with this asset. Render is another funny one. This one's a little bit trickier to give a clear direction. Let's see what Alphanumerics says about Render. So we just flipped red on Alphanumerics on Render back here. So our bias is now bearish. I would want to get on top of this support/resistance flip back here. If we can reclaim this level at around $2, if we can get back on top of that, hold it as support, then we would probably continue the trend, as we do have an uptrend here. We have higher highs and higher lows throughout. So as long as we can reclaim that level, I don't think that it would be unreasonable to expect higher levels here for Render. It's certainly holding a lot more, it's claiming a lot more ground than Cardano. So it is a market leader in terms of the altcoins. But again, alts are as a whole kind of a little lackluster right now. All right. If I wanted to try out Blackbox with leverage enabled, how much leverage is reasonable to have? So this is actually a really interesting question. And I love to answer this question because the answer is actually quite surprising for a lot of people. So we've done a ton of testing on Blackbox. We've done a ton of testing on alphanumerics. We've back tested it over long periods of time. It is a swing trade strategy. It is a long-term market cycle strategy. And what we have found is spot trades on alphanumerics do fantastic. They do wonderfully. We have also found that adding a little bit of leverage to that using 2x is phenomenal. It does exceptionally well on 2x. But then the interesting thing happens when you introduce 3x leverage. At 3x leverage, it makes less money than if you were trading the spot markets, which is surprising. Now, why is that? How could that be? If the wins are greater and you have more margin allocated, why would the returns be less? And it's because Blackbox relies on compounding trades. This is the key to Blackbox. It compounds your trades. It is not a knock it out of the park, win everything in one go trading bot. It is something that over a long period of time will consistently compound the success of the prior trade until you get a really large balance. So by getting it up to 3x leverage, your losses compound at a faster rate than the wins do. So what ends up happening is your recoveries are so much more difficult to get back to where you were because of the increased amount of leverage, that your returns are significantly diminished. So spot does great, 2x does incredible, 3x does worse than spot, 4x actually breaks the bot and it doesn't work anymore. We are working on smaller time frame stuff. We are looking at a lower time frame, more aggressive trading algorithm. But Blackbox itself, the alphanumeric strategy, is a tried and true, rock solid strategy that just returns a ton of money. Like, you just have to be patient with it. That's the one thing. Just be patient with Blackbox. It is an incredibly profound strategy that will return you a lot of money over the long run. When you try to go quickly, when you try to add leverage, when you try to get the same results that it can get over a long time in a shorter period of time, it breaks down. It breaks down. And this is true anecdotally in my own experience as well. I find that when people try and pile in too much leverage, they usually end up being on their losing side of things. Whereas when they stick to lower leverage, longer, more consistent trades, you get much more wins that compound. And it's the compounding that's really, really important. And I think, $500 to $2,000 would be an appropriate allocation to Blackbox. I think when we go into the testing or the P&L sharing on the show, we're going to be putting $10,000 into the bot. But yeah, 500 is the minimum that we recommend. 2,000 would probably be great. You could just run that in the background and see what it does. Now, the other thing to take into consideration with Blackbox too is it can be your new benchmark of performance. So put Blackbox running in the background. If you can outperform Blackbox, congratulations, you're a great trader. Easy. Simple as that. Like, most traders just need to outperform hodling, right? That's their benchmark. If you can't outperform hodling, don't fucking trade and just hodl. But if you can't outperform Blackbox, then you shouldn't trade and you should just allocate more to Blackbox, or at least embrace the trading strategy that Blackbox is employing. So it's a great metric. Just have it running in the background. If you can't do better than Blackbox, something's got to change. All right. All right, we will do one more. Whimsy, the reluctant Jordanite. Good day, Justin and the Jungle Dwellers. Yes, we were formerly the Crypto Jungle, then briefly peer-to-peer trades, and now we're Blackbox trading. A lot of rebrands. Sorry for that. This one should stick. But yeah, welcome in Whimsy, the Crypto Hippie. All right, one more. Let's take a look at gold, and then I think we will wrap things up here. Gold, let's pull it up on the weekly here. We're kind of topping out again for a triple top here on gold. If we can get past the all-time high, that's fantastic. That's what we would want to see for continuation. But as it stands right now, it's had quite a few attempts. And if we begin to, fall here and specifically if we break below 18,000, 1800 for the price of gold. Take out this prior swing low at 1804. It's going to show weakness comparatively. Now, gold traditionally is a risk-off asset. It is an asset that you would buy in the context of an economic downturn. If the S&P continue to rally, if the NASDAQ continues to rally, and if the dollar continues to fall, then we're really not looking at what could be considered, a troubled economy, even though fundamentally it's all built on smoke and mirrors. But the bulls will be allocated enough into the stock market that we may not see a good performance in gold moving forwards, and subsequently probably won't see a good performance in Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's kind of a weird one. It kind of flops between being correlated with stocks and tech stocks, and then it flips over to being correlated with gold. We'll have to see. Right now, gold is dumping and Bitcoin is pumping. So let's see how that correlation is right now. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing since I've been yammering on. Certainly slowing down the momentum a little bit, but trend is your friend. This is a very strong move, so I'm not standing in front of a moving train here. All right, I think that is it. I want to thank you all for joining into the stream. Short and quick today. Just wanted to get this update out here to let you know what I'm seeing in the market. We had a pretty important break of this downward sloping line of resistance here. If we can hold, just as a quick recap, if we can hold support either at the heart line of the consolidation, or even hold below on the breakout and continue upwards, that would be fantastic. But do be on the lookout for a potential fake out. If we come down to this level and we fail to hold, it's probably going to be the last thing before we head to lower levels. So still kind of waiting to get above that key level of 29.9. If we can get above that, fantastic. But until then, I'm going to remain bearish because alpha numerics is bearish and alpha numerics is never wrong. It's not true. No indicator is perfect, but this one's pretty darn good. All right. Thank you all for joining in. Don't forget to check out blackbox.pro, sign up for a free Bitcoin trading bot today, and come into the trading group. We have a free Discord available for bot users where we're sharing alpha, sharing trading strategies, and teaching you how to get bull run ready, because it is time to get bull run ready. We are at that part of the market cycle. So thank you all for joining in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.
Ripping the wall since it felt like this. Ripping the wall since it felt like this. Ripping the wall since it felt like this. Since you felt like this. Ripping the wall since you felt like this. Ripping the wall since you ripping the wall.